Hello and welcome back to EXAPUNKS. Before we get started today, I have realized that this Cybermyth Studios episode failed to upload, and unfortunately, I realized this after deleting my copy. So this episode is completely gone. I can show you how it works, but I feel pretty disappointed that this is the episode that failed, because this one was the longest episode of the series. It was hours long, and the reason it was so long is because of the size. When I first solved it, I was at 158, and it worked, but I couldn't parse it down at all. And it took me a long time, and I think real time 5 or 6 days to do it. Now my work kind of interfered there. It might not have taken me so long if I didn't have to do real life, but as it is, that's how long it took. So I'll show you how it works. C and D are pretty simple. C is just going to jump over here into the date and time zone and start feeding this information out to XA, and that was the breakthrough that got me there, because I had to have I got all this information on XA, but I couldn't really overlap it as much as I wanted to, because we have to go into 801 and 802. And at some point I had XD giving me either 801 or 802, depending where he was in his cycle. But that wasn't quite enough. So getting C to send it to me, and then also sending me the names of the files, was huge. That was the breakthrough, because in the original plan, C and D did the same thing. Initially C stayed here and then jumped over here at the end, but essentially the same thing, just in a different order. And XA would cat was chasing my cursor on the screen. I couldn't see what I was doing. And so I set her down, and as she went down, she took the mouse with me. But anyway, XA would bring 300 along, because we need the names Gast and Moss off of 300. And the reason we bring it along and drop it here is so that I can reuse this Mark 0. But we would bring that along, we would bring in Gast and Moss, and then we would link to 801, grab a file. In this case, C is sending me 220, which is a nice move. And then we're going to switch to local mode and create a replicate. Now that's all basically what we were doing before, except that XA had that information at 801 and 220. Already had that information just built into the code. This time C is sending it. And that's important, because later when we come here, we have to also write in the code, pick up these instead of these. Now we can reuse this same code, because C is sending the specific numbers to us. But the way that it had worked is that the replicant would pick up 220, and then we would go through a cycle of searching 220 for the number next to the name. You don't really understand, you don't know the puzzle, you worked through it with me, but I know how the puzzle works. And basically we have the names Moss and Gast. We have to test equal to X. If it is equal, so if we find Moss, we need to seek -2 and then copy that up to X. Okay? The replicant, meanwhile, is only copying the t-value to m. That's all the replicant is doing now. But before, we would have it where we would search for our x, we would try to find gast. When we did, we would seek -2, copy it up to x. Then we would jump down to mark 2, test if m equaled file. If it did not, we would send back a 0 to the replicant, letting him know that we needed that value again. And the reason that we were doing that is because once we got the value, then the replicant had to know and jump down into his code that would then search file 221 for their IDs. And in this case, 221 is what they were paid, 231 is what they were owed. So we would search for their numbers, and D and C are, in this case, since they're paid, they're subtracting the numbers from their X registrar to get the total amount that they were paid. Okay? And like I said before, the replicant was holding 221. And so once 220, we were done with 220, we would skip over and basically reverse roles. Now the replicant is looking through with his X, trying to find a number, but also checking the M that he's getting from the main. And then we would have it, once we hit the end of the file at 221, the replicant would leave, go in here, grab 231, and then make a replicant of the main bot. And we would redo the cycle. And that all worked beautifully, but like I said, it was over by 8 lines of code and I could not fix it. But now, all the replicant does is copy the t-value to m, jump up, and do it again. That's all the replicant does. So now, the XA is going to look through, try to find the word gast. Once he finally does, copies his ID to the X register, goes back to the beginning of the file, and is now just testing, does m equal file? And we're looking for the word moss. So he jumps through, eventually finds it, true jump, well it's actually false jump up, but seek -2, copy that to T, kill the replicant, drop this file, switch to global, grab whatever C is telling me to grab, which in this case is 221, switch back to local, make a replicant, and now we're here at mark 3, and the replicant is again just sending the T value to M. So we're going to test the end of the file. If it is the end of the file, we're going to jump down here. Otherwise, does the file equal what's in my X registrar? If it does, we'll jump down. If not, we'll go back one spot and test if it equals what's in the M registrar. If it does, we'll jump down. Otherwise, we're going to jump ahead by 3 spots. There you go. And then jump up and try it again. So we're looking for a 201 or 206. So let's do this. There we go. Test the end of the file. It's not. Does it equal X? If it's not, go back 1. Does it equal M? It actually does. So we'll true jump 4. We're going to seek 1. And then here's where it gets fun. We're going to switch to globe mode. Tell C that you need to take this number. And then it's going to copy that number. So we're sending 0 so that C knows, hey, take this number. And then we're going to copy the dollar amount on the global over to C. C sent these 3 out, so you link into 801. You grab 220 and then eventually grab 221. Test does it equal 0. If it does, we jump down to mark 2. Otherwise, we're going to just subtract it from the X registrar and jump back up to test the new thing. So sends that over. C subtracts it. Switch to local. Jump out to talk to D on the local network. D is going to test if it's a 0. It is, so subtract that. And then copy 801 back so that A can go back where it goes. And that's what they're going to continue to do. They're going to continue to look for these IDs here, and then send the dollars to C and the cents to D. And we'll just run through that a little bit. Okay. Here, failed. And you now will jump 3 to send a file, true jump 99. Kill the bot, or kill the replicant, drop the file, go back out. We're going to copy a 1 to the M. So we're on local, we're telling XD it's time to move on. Does not equal 0. XD is going to jump to 4, copy a 0 to A. That lets A know that it's still time, we still have work to do. Later, we'll copy a 1 that will let XA know it's time to die. So D is going to copy a 0 to M. We're going to test if that M equals 0. If it does not, we'll jump down to the ending code. Otherwise, we continue on, switch to global, copy a 1 over to C, who now will jump down. Does not equal 1, fail jump to 2, and then 2 is again link into here, grab this file, and then grab this file. And the main guy, he has jumped back up to 0. And he can now reuse all of this. So he's going to grab 300, copy the names in again, drop it, link to wherever C tells him, grab the file that C tells him, switch to local mode, create a replicant. Now they're going to look through this file, get the new IDs. He's holding it. See there, this is payroll, who has a different file ID than payable does. So they look through, they get their IDs, 2004 and then 3001. So they find those, and then they run through, they do this process again where he kills the bot, grabs the new file that C's telling him to. Now these guys have moved on down into Mark II and Mark IV respectively. And so now they're going to be adding the amount that they were owed from the amount they were paid, or to the amount they were paid. And that will give us the difference between how much they should have been paid versus how much they actually were paid. And it's the same sort of file here. We're going to just go through, find their IDs, and send this information out. Just fast forward to that, no big deal. The replicant just sending that information whenever I want it. Link in there. Jump 3. Test on a file. True jump 99. Kill the replicant, drop the file, link back, copy a 1 to M. So now D knows fail jump to 3, we're moving down in the code. We're going to copy a 1 back out so that XA can test, does it equal 0? No, it does not. Fail jump, we're going to go down to the ending code here. And XD has a little thing in here. It doesn't show here, but if the sense from payable is not as great as, or is greater than the sense from payroll, we'll end up with a negative value here. So we have some code here that if this is a negative number, we're going to send the dollars, the negative dollars, over to C and convert the negative cents into positive cents. So if we're negative $2.50, we're going to tell XC to add on another $2 to the amount. You understand what I'm saying? I hope so, because I didn't say it. But that's not true in this case, so we're going to true jump 5. Again, we do have this, so we're going to swizz that 5, switch to global mode, and copy it over to C, who's still looking. C has not been told that it's time to wrap up yet. And it's actually D that tells him, so it's not going to be a case where XA gets there first. But anyway, XA is going to grab 300, switch over, grab the company name, put it in T, wipe that file, jump in, grab file 220, go to the end, go back to, grab the most recent ID, put it in the X, seek 1 to get to the blank spot, add 1 to the ID, copy it in. We now have ID 2008. We're going to copy T in there, and that's their company name. Drop the file, grab 221, go to the end, put their ID in there, switch to global mode. By this time, D will have told C to move on. So fail jump down to 3, and is now just going to copy the date out, and then copy the dollars out. So copies the date out, we put that in the file, copy the dollars out, put that in the file. C dies because it's out of instructions. XA jumps back, switches to local, copies the sense that D is giving him into the file, and then links into 801, and because he's out of instructions, he dies, the file drops, the test is over. The only thing I want to do is run this to the end again, and maybe just show how this works. Not on that one. Try this one. Okay, there we go. In this case, we have negative 60 cents. So it's $5,028 and negative 60 cents. So it is not greater than negative 1. So we take the dollar amount, put it in T, subtract T. Oh no, yeah, subtract 1 from T and put it back into T. And now that's negative $1 because if you, that's just how math works. It's hard to explain that concept, but if you're minus 60 cents on this, then you need to borrow $1 from here to add to this to make it 502.740. Do you understand what I'm saying? Man, I can't believe how hard that is for me to explain. Anyway, we are now going to swizz these two and keep them in X. So if this were more than $1, if this were $1.60, we would need a -2 here. So we swizz the first digit, we minus 1 from it, because we would have to borrow that extra dollar to make up for the 60 cents. So we swizz that down into T, subtract 1 from it. Now we have the dollar amount we have to send to C. Now we're going to swizz these 2 digits, keep it in X, and then add $1 to it. The dollar that we borrowed from C gets added to it. There's your 40 cents. Now we jump down to 7, where we switch to global, tell C that we need, hey, we have another value coming in here, and then we're going to copy the -1 over to C, who will add the -1, which is taking 1 away. That's the dollar we borrowed to get up to a positive. Now we can copy 1 over to C, who fail jumps down to 3 and copies the date and time. D is going to swizz. This is unnecessary, but I couldn't figure out a way to not have this happen twice. So we again take the 2 digits here, just copy them out to M, so XA will come and get them eventually. I guess the only real question I have, and I don't think there's any instance, yeah, I don't think I can actually fix this. If it were to happen that this number were greater than 100, you would also need to send that to C, but apparently there's no instance where that's the case. So that's super convenient. Because if they had only paid pennies out, but they had owed quarters, this could easily be a big number. But I guess there's no test run where that's the case, because I don't have any code for that, and it doesn't matter. So that's something we would have to add, but that is that puzzle. That is about 4 hours worth of work explained in 20 minutes. And now we can get to the Española Valley High. Okay, English and AP English. Sheesh. Okay, replace English with AP English in Selenium Wolf's child's class schedule. Because those two classes are most likely not offered at the same time, you may need to rearrange the rest of the schedule to make it fit. Fuck you. Modify the schedule so they're taking the same classes, but at different times when necessary. A full list of classes offered is available in file 200. Note that there will only be one valid schedule. Also, note that AP English will only be offered once, and each of the other classes will be once. So, this is the class schedule. English is at 9:05. AP English is at 14:05. But there's also an English here at 3. Okay. AP English will only be offered once, and each of the other classes will be offered no more than twice. This sucks. Oh, I don't even really know where to begin with this. So 235 is out there at grade 11. Is it always there? Yes. So that's always there. Okay. Fantastic. So the first thing we have to do is figure out this is crazy. So we need to just take English off. And add AP English. But then AP English interferes with U.S. history, so we need to get rid of that, find the next U.S. history, which is 1225. Now you're interfering with health. So you gotta find the 905 health. But then that interferes with physics. So now we gotta find the 955 which interferes with calculus. So now we go find the calculus, which is 1315, and that's okay. So that's the schedule it's gonna look like. You can see right there, health, physics, but I don't know how to write that. I don't know how to look for matching. Hey, there is. Here's one where AP English and English are at the same time. So that's cool. Except that this is. Oh, nice! It's the second instance of English. Son of a gun. AP English and 905. Hey, there. This one. English and AP English at the same time. So that one would be. But okay, so we need to grab 300. Copy file to X. 800, make 800, like 802, drop, mark 0, okay. Test file equals X. I guess we'll create a replicant. Replicant A, mark A, copy to M, jump A. Okay, so test X equals file, false jump 0. Once it does, so we find English. Do we go back to and delete that? Probably. void file, copy, and file, probably? I feel like that's probably the way to do it. Yeah, like that. I like that a little bit better. That's going to get us there. Anyway. Found English, go back, void that, switch to AP English. But now we don't. Now we don't really know what to do. I don't think voiding it was the right answer either, because we need to insert it in there. So let's get rid of that. Copy M to X, and then make it 1, replicate B. Bottom, we can get rid of that line. B, grab 200. And then you're going to test X. Otherwise, -2, copy file at M, and then we'll see. You are going to copy M to file, copy X to file, and then we'll see. So at this point, 1405 AP English written in here. So now the question is, can I grab that one? I know that. So we get here, we write in 1405 AP English. Now the question is whether anything conflicts with that. And most likely, yes, it will. So, how do I handle that? We never changed the time on the schedule. Very interesting. That is super interesting. Replicant B, when you find AP English, signatures, we copy that to local. You need to copy M to X, seek -909, mark 1, test X equals file, false jump 1, otherwise, copy M to file. Ooh, no, hold up. Copy file to X, seek -1, copy M to file. Then we end up having 1405 AP English with U.S. history in the bank. So we need to go back to the beginning here, find U.S. history. I don't know how to create a test for if it's AP English. Don't overwrite it. So copy M to file, copy X to M, I guess. Copy M to X. And then you do jump C. Man, excuse me. That came out of nowhere. Oh, you never stuck 99 though. You're gonna end up hitting the yeah, you gotta do that. You gotta do that. Okay. So you go to the beginning, and now you're looking for U.S. history. Eventually you find it. There it is. would send that back to the original guy who I guess needs to copy and X, jump 1, something like that. And so what ends up happening history, send that over. Cannot repass another file. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So you got US history, send it over. You're gonna start looking for 1225. Take it, grab the word health, send it back, replace it with US history. You're now going to take health and go back to the beginning. You find a 9 out of 5 health right there. Looks like, oh no, not quite. Well, why is this wrong? Oh, because you're still doing English. You haven't gotten rid of English yet. You just changed it now. I mean, you have what is essentially a workable schedule, but you didn't get rid of English, and I'm honestly not sure how to get rid of English, so I'm not quite ready to give up, but I need like a list of classes that he takes. I don't know how to do that right now. And I'm getting to the point of wanting to give it up. So that's bad news. I feel like I kind of need this list, except with AP English instead of English. But the times are all static, so I need to be able to check it against the other list. Like 8:15, you do take Spanish 2. 9:05, you need to do something. We have health and physics, but how would we decide between the two? this list, and we could cut down, we just void out every class that he doesn't take, number 1, and then void out any duplicates. That might get us there. But how would I do that? So let me take some steps back here. We do all this, we make the revenue, that's fine. We're looking for the word English in his class schedule. We find it. We seek -1, copy and file. Okay. And then we like -2, make the ref in here. Like this. So now we have a list of all of his classes. I keep thinking to like, oh, we're gonna walk away, we're done, but I'm still making very small progress, so I don't want to give it up just yet. I feel like we're super close, and we can do this if we keep thinking. So, we'll jump the whole way back, we create a guy. Standing here with his class schedule, we create this guy who makes his own file, sure, and I think you're also, yeah, like you're here, so you need to seek -99, seek 3 to jump past name is his name, the time. And then basically we're going to do this. So we seek 1, 2, 3. We're going to copy, seek, eight. He has 8 classes, so okay. So that's at rep 8, copy, file, M, seek 1, at end. Okay, so now we're at 40, you make a file, you at rep 8, copy and the file, add it. There you go, 48. So we now have a list of all of his classes. Cool. Now, what do we want to do? That puts us at the end of the file, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Could do that. this is where I get a little bit lost. Now I want AP English. I also kind of want to be able to void things out of here, but that would violate the leave no trace. It seems like I have to go back and get 300. Copy AP English to X. Once we do that, we know that this time slot is over. The solution would be to go back and check 815. Are there any classes he takes? Yes, French too, so that's fine. 9-5, except health and physics are both here. So I would write health in there. And then 955. Physics. Oh, which would actually work. 1045. Computer art will go in there. Oh, is 11:35 always lunch? Okay, good to know. Would end up being US history. 13, 15. Would end up being pre-calculus. So that would just happen to work. So I would put pre-calculus as 9 of 5, and then US history would end up hitting 1225. No, physics would hit 1225. wouldn't have U.S. history anywhere on this list. Physics would be right. 1315 would end up being for calculus, so I would have free calculus twice on the list. So you can't just look for one. And so I don't know exactly what that means. Yeah, I'm not sure how to parse this from this point. I'm to a point where I feel stuck. I could get every instance of Spanish 2. In this case, there's only one. Every instance of Spanish 2, every instance of calculus. Copy that to a file. I don't know. Yeah, this is where I say I don't know, and I walk away because right now I don't have an idea. I think 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there are 7 time blocks. It's not just coincidence that he has those 7 times always. There just are 7 time blocks. So I'm always using 1 out of each time block. The question is, when he has a time block like this, where he uses precalculus and U.S. history, both in the same time block, how do we decide which one to do? And then you start going down a rabbit hole. Okay, so we take precalculus. Well, the other option for precalculus is 315, in which case, yeah, that would be fine. Have it, because there's no other class that he takes on this block. So that could be an option. How would we write that? If we take the first time block, if we can take the first time block and then test every class he takes and see if there is more than one available, that could get it there. We would have to go to every block where there's more than one available, but then we somehow need to take the blocks where there are 2 available and parse them down, and that's That's where I'm stuck. Hello and welcome back. I'm doing an intro because it's been so long. I recorded part 1 of this 15 days ago, actually. And I've been thinking about it a lot, and every time I go to think about it, I'm simply at a loss. I always, I say, I gotta figure this out. I need to know what can I do here. And I can never think of something. Until yesterday. Yesterday, about midday, an idea came to me. And so I'm gonna just get rid of this. And see if I can get this idea to work. So my plan is to go grab 235 and get this list of classes. Not lunch, but everything else. And my hope is to reverse it. I want to copy these classes into a new file, or maybe into 300, that's fine. And then, starting with AP English, go through the schedule, find AP English, copy that into a new file. Sorting them by time is going to suck a little bit, but yeah, this is why I wanted to open this up again, because thinking about it in my mind, I completely forgot I had to sort them by time. But yeah, we're going to find AP English, copy that into a file, and then search for all the 205s. Void them out of our file, or maybe his file, but see if there's something that matches. So we're going to have a list of these. We're going to find AP English on this. We're going to put it in there. But I'm thinking, so we copy this 1405, search for it here. Once we find it, copy this somewhere. Seek -1, copy AP English in. Then we have to look through this list. See, no, that's not okay. See, what I wanted to do was look through this list and find it. But the problem is, if we find it at 1405 again, we're going to put that in and it's going to break. So what I need is, like I said, I need the list of classes, and then we're going to search through this whole master list and copy over every instance of his classes. So we're going to get rid of all that stuff that we don't need. And then once we find AP English 1404, we're going to delete the other 1405s. That's the way I want it to work, but there's a lot of juggling that has to happen here. It's going to be hard. But, I want to do it, so. Let me grab 300, like 800, like 802. Copy file X, replicate, okay? Mark A, you're going to grab 235, false jump. You know what? We probably need to seek 2 before we do this. Yeah. Let's seek 2 to get past his name. False jump B. Otherwise, we're going to seek -1. Copy M file. Okay, and your job is going to be now copy F to M, and then maybe wipe the thing. Oh, but maybe not. Maybe let's put it here, and then copy X to M. Maybe do that instead, and now we can wipe it. I think. Let's see. So that will, if we click through this, whoops, wrong button. If we click through this, he's going to pick that up and he's going to try to find English. Eventually he does, and he replaces it, and then he dies. So now we have all of his classes here. 2, 4, 6, 8 classes. But we want to skip lunch. So that's, we have to do a little something there, but that's okay. The problem with this is that AP English is not offered in 1315, so it doesn't work. So, now we want to copy all of that stuff, all of the class information over. So let's not wipe. Let's instead seek -2. He's holding AP English, which is fine. You're going to copy that into the file, okay? And then you would want to seek -999, seek probably 3. 1, 2, yep. Seek 3. Lunch is always at the same time. So here's where it gets a little strange. Let's pop this out, just so I can see it. So you're going to seek 3, you're going to copy I'm going to @rep this. @rep copy file to M, seek 1 @end. So we're going to copy, 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 and we're going to be here at lunch. So then we will seek 2. Copy file to M, seek 1, copy file to M, seek 1, copy file to M, and then I guess drop, maybe? I don't know. We'll decide there what we do. And I think you're just going to take these 7. So you're going to @rep7, copy M the file, @end. Simple as that. Okay, we can pop back in. So now, we roll through that. He has replaced English with AP English, and he's still holding AP English, which is great. And so now we're going to have a list of his 7 classes. Okay, that's cool. That is very cool. have a little bit of work to do. So I'm thinking mode, link -1, link -1, ref plus C. Mark C down here. You're going to immediately grab 200, and then you we're still holding AP English in the X, which is definitely what I want. Seek -9, whatever, that's fine. And then we need a little cycle here. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do this, but a little cycle of sending this information away. Well, no, you could probably just repeat it. Why not just repeat it? Well, the problem is we don't know who we're communicating with right now. That's an issue we have. Because this guy's sitting over here on the global, we're sitting here on the local, but we're both holding files, which is not what I want. I want another file in the mix. I guess I could swap the other guy. I could have the first guy drop 235, I guess. That's an option, but is it the best option? I guess drop and make is what we're gonna end up doing. So yeah, that allows us to communicate. So we're just sitting, are we just going to hand him every, yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, yeah, just at rep 7, copy file to M, at end. Like, I don't really see a downside to that. So you're going to copy M to X, and you're holding this giant file, so you are going to well, I'll copy a 0 to M, please. Okay. So copy that to X. Test. Let's make a marked B up here. Okay. Test X equals 0. True jump F. Otherwise, Otherwise, we will test and a file. I'm just going to add that in here. No big deal. Test and a file. True jump D. Otherwise, test file equals, I don't need the seeks. Test file equals X. False jump E. But if it's true, then I need to seek -2, switch to global, copy M, copy out of M, switch back to local, and jump B. I think that's what I want to do. So that should give us the full list of everything we need over here. You've got to make things. So you're going to sorry, popping my fingers here. I'm thinking about giving the guy over here an indicator that we're done. I think that could be worth doing. I'm just deciding whether that's something I want or not. But probably yes, it's probably worth doing. So yeah, let's do a mark G, test M equals 0, false jump H, otherwise copy M file, copy file, and jump G again. Okay, and then so here we're going to do copy 0 to M, copy those two over, and here we'll copy 1 down. Okay, so that's what we're going to do there, and let's fly that forward. So here's what we have. This guy is holding oh, okay. That seems wrong. What we ended up with is one of each. That's not what we need. So where are we grabbing 200? Right here. Seek the end. Test it, execute, false jump up. Otherwise, okay. So you switch to you do this, you do this, you do this. I think you need to jump E again. Yeah, let's switch that to E and see if that changes the outcome. Okay, so now we are holding what? This looks better. So we have only one Spanish 2, but that could be correct. How many Spanish 2s are here? One here, and yeah, I don't see another one. So if you look at Spanish 2, here's a physics. There's a physics. Pre-calc. 1, 2. Computer art. 1 here. I only see that 1. Where's health? Right here. Here's a health. There's a health. There's only 1 AP English, we know that. US history, 1 here. And 1 here. So I'm seeing 11 matches for the classes he's taking. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 matches. Beautiful. Okay. So we're pretty far along right now. We need a little bit more here, but we're getting somewhere, and that's fantastic. So we have this list. So now my plan was, you know, the main guy who's not even here anymore, just the XA guy, he should still be holding AP English. And so the thought I had was that we can go through this list, find AP English, you know, put that maybe in this list or maybe on a new list. I'm not sure exactly, but you know, we'll find AP English. Get its time, void that out, put it on a new list. But then we also were going to copy this 205 time, and then we're going to search through here, find a 205, okay, void that, copy this, and then we'll go through, find that, copy this time, void that out. Well, this gets erased, this gets copied. And then we're going to have to look for the other time. There, yeah. So now we're looking for the 1225. We find this. We're going to void this out, find health, copy the 905, go back, delete that, find physics, delete this, find pre-calc, and then that should be done. Okay, so that's the plan. But how are we going to do that is the question. You don't really need this anymore. You're done as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, like he's not taking that one. So yeah, you would copy that one over. You aren't getting it for some reason? That's weird. Why wouldn't you get that? Are you not? Here, let me fly up here again. I think it's because you're not flipping your mode. You're still hanging out in local. Yep. That's the problem there. So yeah, so you're going to mode over to global, copy that one, let them know it's time to go. You're going to drop your thing and make a new thing. Okay. I think that's what I want. You're holding that. It might be okay for this guy to die. yeah, now they're both holding these files. So you probably want to seek back to the beginning, which is fine. Okay. And you need something else. You're dying around here, it looks like, so you're going to copy that 0 over. Why are you doing that? You give everything you want there. Well, why are you copying the 0? He's looking for it. Yeah, he jumps up there. So that's when we know the list is over. Okay, that's cool. So you can copy that over. And then I guess copy X to M seems like a good thing to do. So test M equals 0 up here somewhere. Yeah. True jump down to F. Copy M to X. Switch to global mode. Make yourself a new thing. Beautiful. Yeah, you can probably halt at this point. That's fine, I believe. What are you holding, though? Do you have a file in hand? You do. So yeah, you probably want to wipe that. Okay. So you're making a new file. You have AP English in your head. And I guess copy it over, right? I wouldn't see why not. Seems like the thing to do. So you can see -9 to 9, you can copy M to X. And then you're going to test end of file. Mark I. So test end of file. And I'm thinking if we get to the end of the file, we're going to true jump end. You know, we're gonna end this thing. And I'll just put it here. It's fine. Mark end. Okay. But if it's not the end of the file, test X equals M. False jump I, that's fine. But if it's true, we want to, okay, what we want to do is this is going to get a little complicated here. So if it's true, we will seek -2, copy O to M, copy file to M, copy file to M. That doesn't seem right. Copy file to X, copy X to M. Okay, that seems a little better. And then we want to seek -2. Again, void file. Okay. Then we're going to seek -9 to 9. Mark J. Test in the file. True jump. So we're at the end of the file. We want to jump back up to H, get a new one. But if we're not, we're going to test x equals file, false jump J, otherwise C, -1, void file, and then jump J. Yeah, I like that. So we get the end of the file, we go back up here and do this. Okay, that's beautiful. I like that. I like the code we got to. Oh, look at the size! Oh no! Oh, the size. That sucks. If I can make it work, though, I'll be happy if I can make it work. And then we'll have to think about the size. Okay, so what are we doing here exactly? We're going to, if it equals, we'll copy in a 0 and then 2 values over. So you're going to mark K. Test x equals m. Yeah, that's right. So you're gonna copy that. Okay. So you're seeing what are you doing? I don't understand. I'm really very confused right now. I'm not even doing this right. I'm not doing this the way I want to do it. You're not doing this. I'm doing something that I don't want to be doing right now. And the fact that the size is over budget already is agitating me. But yeah, we didn't copy the size. Like, let's get to here. And I don't think you ever... Okay, you do have that. But you're trying to test this versus M, which doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, that's not right. Yeah, you should be testing that versus file. Okay. You should be testing that versus file, for sure. Okay. You're dying, which is fine. And you're just going to search through this until you hit AP English, which is fine. But then, what you need to be doing, so you find this, it's true, you seek -2, you need to copy that up, I think. Yeah. So you need to be copying copy file to X, copy 0, okay. Seek -1, copy 0 to M. Oh wait, did I already do that? Oh shit, I already did it. Copy 0 to M. Shit, okay. Copy 0 to M, let him know it's time. Copy that up, copy them both over. Seek -2, void, seek -9. And then we're looking for the time, so it doesn't equal F. If it doesn't, we go again. Seek -1, void this, but then copy file to X, seek -1, void that. Okay, so you, sir, I have this mark K, but I don't know if I really need, but okay, so SM equals 0, false jump L, I suppose, and then so you're going to file, copy M to file, jump. Okay, I guess. Yeah, we just got started with AP English, and now she's going to be self-sustaining. She's gonna copy this up, void that out, and then jump up to J. When she hits the end of the file, she's gonna jump back to H, and then start looking for that. Okay, I can live with that. I'm just going to put a mark here because I want to see where that puts us. Okay, they're frozen here. Yeah, we ended up with US history. You're doing the seek -999 thing. You're also expecting him to do something else. So I don't like that. I'm going to make this a mark 9 and make this mark H, and then we'll fail jump to 9 here. Okay. And then let's just do that again. Okay. Pause. So that leaves 400 looking wrong. Why? What did I do wrong? We got 1, 2, like we have some to look up. No, we don't. No, we really don't. Where the fuck is AP English? Oh, it should be down here. So we copied AP English over there. But now you're trying to copy. You did it wrong. Cut that out. Put that in. Cut that out. Put that in. Okay. Now, please. Okay. Now we're stuck. But we still got a couple here. Unfortunately. AP English, US history. Spanish 2 didn't end up with a time for some reason. Yeah, we're just in a bad spot. So I'm gonna have to figure out. Okay, so that guy sends AP English over, and then I want to see how you work. So you get that, and now you're looking for AP English. Okay. Come on, come on. Okay, so you look for AP English, you find it. You seek -2. Tell him, get ready for this. Copy the time into X, copy the X over, copy the file over. Okay. So you get both of those, you go back, void, void, jump back to the beginning, click send the file. It's not. Is it the right time? No. Okay, you keep doing this. We're looking for these 1405s. Okay, it's true. Seek -1, void it, copy US history up there. Seek -1, void it, jump back up to J. Send the file. It is the end of the file. Go back to the beginning. Okay, now we're looking for US history. Okay, looking for US history. Where is it at? is. Seek -2. Tell him, hey, here it comes. Seek that time. Send the time. Send that thing. Seek -2. Void. Go back to beginning. And the file node. Looking for 1225. Void it out. Copy health in there. Seek -1. Void it out. Come back to beginning. It is the end of the file. Go back to beginning. Now we're looking for health. Does it equal? Yes, it does. Seek -2. Copy the time in. Send the time. Send the thing. Seek -2. Void. Go back to beginning. Now we're looking for anything that's 905. There it is. Go back to beginning. Void that out. We could do. Okay, yeah. Make a note of that. In Mark J, we can save a space or two. Copy physics in there. Go back. Void it out. Jump to J. Right at the end of the file. Oh, okay. There's your fail. There's your fail. Yeah, I'm gonna change that to jump H instead. Yeah, so let's clean this up a little bit. Let's change this to jump H, and then so don't do that. Copy file to X, seeking -2, and then void them both. And I think that'll save us a line. And then we'll do that. Let's fly over here, see what we get. Okay. Similar. This is actually fine. This is the point where we don't have to look anymore. So we can copy the 1 to X, which is fine. What we need is to send the rest of the information over. So, yeah, you sir, you're going to make this file, okay? Here's where I'm a little bit confused. So you make this file. You're waiting for something. Copy those in. You're waiting for more and more. So let's roll through a little bit. Where is the break point? So like you're getting this void. Okay. And then what are you gonna do? You're gonna see thing 99. Gonna send a file. You should be sitting on to get test stabbing. Yeah, you should. Okay, so true jump and are you just going through this? test m equals 0, fail jump L. So you should, oh, you copied the x. Okay, there's your failure. There's your failure. Okay, but this is fine. What you actually need to do, okay, what you actually need to do is seek negative 9999, okay, and then test and file. Mark 99 right here. Test and file. True jump 98. Sure. But otherwise, copy zero to M. Copy file to M. Copy file to M. And jump 99. Okay, and then once you get to 98, you're going to copy 1 to M, like that. Okay, so you're going to continue to do this stuff. Once you get that number 1, how are we going to do this? Because you're going to have a completely empty file. So you should wipe, grab 235, copy file to M, copy M file, and I'm thinking let's do that. Wait, hold up. You gotta seek 2 first. Seek 2 first, and then I want to do this at rep 4, at end, and then seek 2 at rep 3, file to M. Hoping that works the way I want it to. Okay, and then probably the halt, I would imagine, because you should be done there. So you're going to get that 1, and then you're going to copy X, seek negative 9999, trying to decide exactly how I can do this. So seek the negative 999. I'm going to say test x equals to file. I'm going to say false jump n. And I'm going to go mark n here and mark m here. Okay. So if it's false, if it does not equal, you just try again. I don't think I need an end of file test here. If it is correct, you're going to copy file to M, seek negative 2, void file, and then jump L. work. Didn't work. Where does the failure occur? Because I thought I had it there. I genuinely did. So yeah, you're holding this. You sent out the 815. Find it. You copy Spanish 2 back. Sig -2, void out those. That's great. What is your thing? You are alternating. So you should be sending 905 back. Void void. Jump to L. Copy 905 in. Go back to the beginning. Search for 905. Send health back. Boom, boom. Get 955. Look for it. Send physics. Bump, bump. Copy in 1045. There it is. Sig -2, void them out. Jump up. 1225. There it is. Sig -2, void, void. 1315. He dies, and what are you trying to do? Void, void. I see. Okay. So he needs to not die immediately. So you don't halt immediately. Copy 0 to M, and then you can halt. Oh shit. Where's that 401? Who had 401? Okay. So I guess we do need an ender file. Sig -99. So let's get rid of that. Where you at? We don't need this anymore. Go away. Sig -99. Test end of file. True jump O. Mark O is going to be like oh, you do still need that. So before you halt, copy 0 down. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I want to see what 235 looks like. There it is, and it's correct. So you should wipe, die, and test is complete. Test 2 completely failed. Test 1 works. Test 2 does not. I'm not sure why it doesn't, but let's... Oh, we got 2 pre-calculate, which is something I was worried about. Look, it's very wrong. US history and physics are all messed up. And I'm not... Well, I mean, here they are. They didn't get sent over for some reason. So let's go here and let's figure out why that's happening. So true jump end right here. So like this should all be fine. So we hit the end of the file. We go back again. Okay, so test in the file is not in the file. You copy it over on the phone. Copy it over. Jump up to 99. Look, there's still shit to double up here. We're at the end of the file, but we're still doubling things up. That doesn't make any sense. He's trying. I don't understand. This isn't the way this should have worked. So we're in a bad spot. First off, it only works for one test run at this point. You know, it works for the first. It doesn't work after that. Secondly, it's failing for a reason I can't really fix right now, and that would be, you know, some class is only offered once, but we're coming across that class before we're getting to classes that are offered twice, which breaks it. And more importantly, we are almost double the size. So even though I thought I had a decent idea, and frankly I did solve test run, I'm not really anywhere close to actually solving this puzzle. And so I'm going to hang it up for right now, and maybe come back 2 weeks down the road. I guess we'll find out. Hello and welcome back to EXAPUNKS. Española Valley High School Española is still the issue that I'm having. Hopefully, I'll be able to fix something out. I'd like to do like a new solution if I can. Is that a new punk or is that a new... Okay, that is a new solution. So yeah, I think I just want to start over with this because I'm having some ideas and I don't know if this section of the video is going to end up being anything or just another instance of me failing. But I had an idea the other day and I want to try it out. So we'll see what happens. But I just want to give some context for this puzzle. You know, I really like you guys to get a full idea of the struggle. I never want to misrepresent it that I'm smart. There's probably a better way to have said that. But, yeah, some people edit their footage to make it seem like they're good at a game. The game that they play, they'll only show you the good parts. And, you know, here's my No Death Dark Souls run with 30 edits or whatever. That's not what I want. I don't care if I suck. That's not the point. The point is overcoming. That's the satisfaction I get from the difficult games. When I do the thing, I feel incredible. And so, the fact of the matter is, part one of this video, as far as I'm concerned, from the editing standpoint, was recorded October 15th. Part 2 is recorded October 30th. So I spent 2 weeks in between there trying to figure this thing out after I recorded for however long on the 15th. Can I see quickly how long that lasts? No, I can't. I was hoping I could quickly bring up the run link to that view, but I cannot get it. But whatever it is, I recorded for a while, I'm sure it's over an hour, and couldn't figure it out, gave up. It took me 2 weeks before I felt like I had something worth coming back for, because this puzzle really confused me. And so, that's pretty significant. The fact that, you know, it's 2 weeks real time before I come back and think maybe I can do this again is pretty significant. That shows you, you know, how this puzzle is befuddling me. Today is January 24th, so it's been about 3 months since part 2, and I've been thinking about the puzzle a lot. It's not that I've been just too busy to do this. It's that every time this puzzle comes up, there's always a yes, but what if idea. And it wasn't until a couple of days ago that I finally found something that I think might be a loophole for all this problem. And so I have a note written in my phone that says find AP English, A, copy time, search time, if found, greater than 0, no, greater than 1,
0 equals copy subject loop A, 1 equals copy also over time, maybe test equals English. That's my notes. Hopefully I can make sense of those. I think I know the general idea in my head. Hopefully I haven't forgotten how to write this code. But yeah, my idea here is to have this jump in, grab this, which is the full list of stuff, and then also get him 235. Is he always in that class? He's always grade 11. So yeah, we're gonna go in there. We're gonna grab his file. We're going to find. We're going to find AP English here. Yeah, we're going to find AP English here. Go back, grab the time for AP English. Find it. Copy this to M, maybe. Copy AP English in there. And then go back and find. Now that's going to mess it up too. Nope, this isn't going to work out. Because there's only one instance of AP English. Right here. At 1405. What I could do. Copy of this. So I'm not destroying the original. Because I have to leave no trace. Make a copy of this. Find 1405 US history. Delete that. And then search for US history again. Here. Okay, so then find the 1225 here, copy out health, delete this whole thing, find health again. At some point, test if equals English. Yeah, that's probably the way I want to do it. I should have gotten myself a drink before I started this. Okay, I'm going to just pause this for a moment. It's going to sit right here. Yeah. Not going far. This is... Alright, I am back. I want to try to explain the difference between what I'm doing now and what I had been doing before I started typing. Hopefully this will make sense. Before I would take Hunter's class assignment, I would find, I think I found English, replaced it with AP English just so English wasn't in the way, and then I searched through here, found AP English, and I'm like, okay, let's put AP English at 1405, but now we need to find US history, and then I would go through this, find US history, wherever it is, and then put it here, and then find whatever it replaced, and just keep going through it like that. And that almost makes sense, but the problem is there are 2 instances of every class except for US history, or except for AP English, and I think there might be one more, like AP Physics. Yeah, all the APs, there's only one. So that's neither here nor there. The point is, most of the classes, especially the ones that Hunter has, have 2 instances. And so if we share something with AP English, such as US history, it can be a problem, because if AP English is up here at 815, and so is Spanish too, what we're going to do put AP English here, look for Spanish 2, find it here, and then replace AP English with it. And it fails. You know, you've probably seen that failure happen a few times in this video. What I'm going to do now is reverse the process. So we're going to figure out where AP English fits, because there's only one instance of AP English. We're going to put it in there, and then delete this instance of US history out, and then that'll allow us to search for the other instance of US history. So we're going to end up with only one option for each class. And so those failures where, oh, there's two classes you can potentially take at 905, which one's it going to be? How do we sort that out? That's no longer tough. That's a concern that we no longer have, as far as I can see. So, if I can type this out the way I want to, I should be good, I believe. So, let's see if we can do this. I want to put these guys on local, and we are going to link 800, grab 200, play, and then mark A right here, and your job is going to be to make a file, and then I think mark B, and then your job is going to be to read this file, so you're going to mark C, or you can mark C or whatever. Let me see. So you got 200, and you want to just make a copy. That's all you work on. So, this cat is saying that I'm not into that right now. Copy file to M. Test at the file. False jump. I guess true jump D, and then copy 0 to M. Jump C, D, copy 1 to M, kill. I think is what, no, not kill, but I think that's what we're going to do. Okay, so you're going to make a file, and then you're going to copy your file, test 0, true jump, otherwise move on. Use asterisk on here. You're moving on. That should run as far as I can see. It's not going to run without that asterisk line, but as far as I can tell, like they're going to end up zipping through this. Okay. Copy that to C. You got one more, send your history out, and now you're at the end of the file. You copy the 1 to M. And yeah, now you should have this list that you did. So that's cool. Yeah, that's exactly what we wanted, and I'm excited about it. So we're gonna halt. You're gonna move forward. I guess you're going to mode copy here to M. It's probably what I want you to do. And you are going to I can't remember the code for like null M? Something like that? No. Void M? Yeah, okay, void M. That's fine. I guess grab 300. Whatever. Do you also want to go somewhere? Yeah, I think that's probably what we want to do. Yeah, okay. Link 800. Link 800. Link 802. And I'm deciding now, do I want to create the replicant before that's made or not? And I think probably not. That might cost us a couple cycles on the histogram, but I'm not too worried about that, frankly. So yeah, we'll jump in there. Wait for the signal. Once the signal happens, we'll mode, replay on the A down here. We're going to immediately grab 235, and then we'll have to see from there what we do. So you've got to hold up the class schedule. You've got to hold up the keywords, and you in here have a hold of this. I'll copy it. Okay, what's next? What's next? I guess we need I think I can save myself a line of code here. Maybe not. I think the next thing that XB needs to do is talk back to XA. Yeah, I think that's what we want. So you're going to do that, and then you're going to seek name 109, copy MX. That's what I want you to do. And you I'm going to do this differently. You're going to grab that file and then copy MX. But you are also going to move yourself, which I think is what we want. I think that'll save us a line. Instead of moding here to make him switch and then moding back, we'll only mode to make him switch. I think that's what we'll see. Okay, so you're going to seek 1, copy the file to M, and then copy MX. I think that's what we want. Okay. So you are going to copy that in. searching for a test. Let's go ahead and mark 0 here. Test file equals x. False 0. We don't need it in the file check because we know this is. If we find a English, we are going to seek -2, copy file error. I'm saying I believe a lot because I'm really very confused about this whole thing. I'm thinking something else here as well. I think I need to hold on to English for myself. So copy, I think copy file X or maybe T. Copy file T. Nah, let's do it X. No, let's do T. Copy file to T, copy T to M, and copy them back to X. Okay, and then we're going to mode into local. Oh, you would need to mode yourself out as well. Did you? Yeah, okay, you did. That's good. That's good. Okay, so we're back into local mode now. Kitty, please. Please, kitty, please. Okay. So you're moding into local mode. You have AP English here and the time here. So you're going to holding this, you're looking for the time. I guess the best thing to do would be to copy X to M, and then copy T to M. Okay, so you're going to copy your time into X, and then you're going to test equals X with the right keys. False jump back to B. If it does, if we found the time, then we need to copy the file to T, seek -1. Let's keep this on X. Seek -1. Hold on to that for a second. That's relatively good. We find AP English or copy up here. Then we find the time that AP English takes place. Copy US history to RX, and then replace US history. AP English. And so now we have a. That's interesting. That's interesting. Instead of holding this on X, could we send it back? The problem is we're holding the time in X. So we just sent the time I don't think it... No, it makes a difference in the amount of lines of code we have, but hopefully it won't make a difference overall. We would have to overwrite the time and switch back and forth between, okay, we're holding the time here. X versus T. It would just get confusing. And I don't think it's worth one line of code that's missing. So we're going to hold off on that. But there's more to be done here. This stuff, we need to start deleting from the file that we created from this 200 copy. So, how can we do that? We go back to the beginning, we take now we have a copy of the time. Right, that's what we're doing here. We're sending the time back. We have an English. Let's copy the time. Send it back. Perfect. Now my question is whether I need to see for negative 999. Is there a limit to the amount of classes per time? Is it worth it? Probably not, honestly. Let's seek. Grab and then delete. That's enough. And that'll keep them from having to communicate back. I'm deciding whether this bot should wait for an instruction to delete all this stuff versus just killing it herself. Or if she could continue to work, and then we'll have one of these bots come back and kill her. You know, that's the debate in my mind right now, and I'm not sure what's the better choice. You've copied M to file. Copy file to X. And then M to file. And then you jump back to the beginning. But you also need to be checking something. Okay. So you need to copy X to M, and then we'll see from there where we want to go. You're going to copy, you're going to seek -2, test M equals down here and it's going to mean death. If it doesn't, then no. We're going to copy MT and then test T equals file. Because we do need a copy of that. And if it's not English, then we have US history in the T file, so we need to jump 0, and then mark 0 is going to be, I think we need to also mode back to global, and then mark 0 up here, and then that'll be copy US history back, and then the guy in here is going to search for the other instance of US history. Okay, I can live with that. This is getting confusing, but I think we're on the right path. After thinking about it for 3 months, of course. So now you're US history. What have you done? You've copied AP English into the file. Going back to the beginning. US history out. So what's your next task? You're going to get the next time. So you need to copy M to X. Are we jumping back up to here? I think so. Yeah, I don't know what else you would have to do. So we're just going to jump C with you. And C. There. Yeah, so you send US history back. You execute. Take US history, send it globally back to here. You should be looking for US history. Okay. That seems right. Everything seems right. I'm having a hard time verbalizing what's happening, but it looks so the deletion part of this, I think we've decided to do it on our own. So test file is equal to X. It is. Go back to copy the time X. Forward. U. X. Where's the time? That is the time. You're putting the time in X. So where's my T? Where are you holding a copy of the new? Okay, where are we right now? You're here. You've got the time on X, you've got the AP English on T. Okay, so you send that back to no one because nobody's listening. Why did you die? why have you died? Why have you died? Okay, so you take AP English, you find it. Alright, you're out of instructions, that's why. Okay, that's fine. So you find AP English, you go back, you copy the time over. And then you would die. But you guys, you're going to accept the time, switch to local, and then send him the time. He does his whole thing. Puts US history in X, seeks -1, copies AP English into that, and then sends US history back to M. And you do. You copy M to T right here, which is great. Except that I'm not sure that we continue to do that. We jump C at this point, and that's not going to get us to the top. Okay, so test if T equals F. True jump would kill everything. Otherwise, we go back to global, and then go back up here. You don't do anything. Yeah, that's where I'm getting confused. This is split between two different boxes. So you're not jumping C. It's the other guy that's jumping C. Alright. So yes, you true jump C, and then you're copying C here. Oh, okay. Yeah, we lose it here. We lose it there. So that's not good. We want to copy M to X, I guess, and then just X equals F, true jump C. Otherwise, copy X to T, then switch to global, jump 0, copy T to M, which will send this bot the words US history, and then we'll get the time back and continue. Okay, that's good. Now, this bot, let me see where you're at. Alright, so you copy 1405 into X. Perfect. I want you to seek -9. Test file equals X. False jump. Mark 1, I think. If it's true, then back to because I need to be copying. Because right now I'm messing with the time, and I need to be copying it to X. I don't see a jump 0. I see fail jump 0. I'm gonna put jump 0 here instead. And this is gonna be 1. This is gonna be mark 0. Okay, so you're gonna fail jump 2, otherwise. So yeah, we can true jump 0. True jump 0. Otherwise, I think otherwise test f equals x, and then true jump 2, 3 rather. True jump to 3. Otherwise, probably jump 0 again. I think. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Does this just work? No. I thought maybe it did. Oh, because I don't have killing. I don't have the Z path written yet. But otherwise, this might work because what we're gonna do here, you're gonna tell him to wake up, and you're gonna go back to the beginning. You're going to copy the name of the class into X, find it. Once you do, go back, send the time over while holding the time for yourself. Then you're gonna go back. Find the time. When you find the time, you go back 1, delete the time and the class. Are we at the end of the file? If we are, we're going to go back to getting here and do that whole thing over again. If we're not at the end of the file, then we're going to see, is it the same time? If it is the same time, we want true jump 3 there? That doesn't seem right. Yeah, it is. If it is the same time, then we jump up to 3 and delete it again. Okay, yeah, that's right. So that seems good. We're deleting the time. Once all the time is deleted, we're back here waiting for the new class. At some point, we're going to be told that we found English. So they're going to say, okay, whatever. U.S. history is 1315. So we're going to send 1315 to whatever. I'm losing where this is at. X equals file. This is what we're looking for. So we're going to go back to the beginning of our file. We're switching into local mode. We're going to send the time over, and then the class, and then go back to the beginning. This guy's going to do his thing. Send the name of the next class back. We're going to see -2. And then copy the name of the new class into X. Test if it's equal to English. If it is equal to English, then we need to kill white. Link -1, link -1, kill, grab 400 white. Does that work? Yes, it does! Holy shit, guys! We did this shit! Can you even believe it? Oh my goodness. Dudes. Okay, so this is 38 minutes in 2 seconds, right? Now, 38 minutes this took me to do. Not counting that little couple minute intro I had that I cut so I could get a drink that I had barely taken 2 seconds. Part 1 of this was October 15th. 3 months and 9 days. 99 days. This puzzle has been on my mind and we finally got it. We finally figured this out. I'm going to try to do a talk through of this. I haven't been doing a great job of explaining the way things are working, so maybe it won't be good. But I'm going to try my best. I'm trying my best. So, number 1. We're still recording. Okay. So, alright. So number 1 is B is going to grab 300 and just jump into here, create a replicant of itself, and then wait to be told it's go time. The replicant grab this file, switch over to local mode, and then wait for a class from his host. Well, not the host, but the magic creator. Meanwhile, XA is going to jump in here, grab 200, create a replicant of itself, and all of these guys are doing copy file to M, test at we're at the end of the file. If we are, copy 1 to M and kill yourself. If we're not, copy 0 to M and jump back up and copy the next thing. The replicant down here is going to make itself a file, copy M, the local signal, to the file, test if M equals 0. If it is, go copy the next thing. So that's what it is. XA is sending this information. Is there more information? If there is more information, tell the replicant to continue. If there's not, tell the replicant that we're done. We're done here. So they just go through, they make a copy so that I can edit this without anyone knowing I was here. And that's all we're done. Sends US history over. Test end of file, it's true, so we're going to copy 1 to M and then just hold. That's it. You die, you drop the file, it's all good. The replicant down here is going to test, does that equal 0? It does not. And so we're going to switch to global mode so that we can talk across this chasm. And then copy a 0 to M so that this guy, XB, knows to wake up. And now you're going to go back to the beginning and wait for the signal. Back to the beginning. You just voided out that 0. We didn't really need it. We already did the seek 1 to get to AP English because that's the class we're adding. And we always know that it's 1 forward. So, copy that into T. We're still in global mode with this one. This guy switched himself to local. So we're going to copy. This is the class name that we're looking to add to the student's schedule. And that's the key difference. We're not looking to replace English. We're looking to add AP. I'm just thinking about this in a different way, and it turns out that's the way we're supposed to be thinking about it. So yes, find AP English for me. Copy it to T. copy it to M. This guy's going to grab that. And then after that, by the way, after this, we're going to wait. We're just going to wait for an M to come back. So we can scroll up here. So we're going to copy M to X, throw in AP English. And now we know AP English is here somewhere. So we don't need an end of file check. Test if file is equal to AP English. If it's not, test if file is equal to AP English. And we're just going to keep doing that. Where the heck is AP English? That's all we're looking for. Where is it? Once we find it, go back to and find the time associated with AP English. Now we can copy this file to X, so we have it, and then copy X to M, so they have it. While this is happening, we're going to go back to the beginning of our file, and then once again, we're just looking for 1405. We know this time exists because we just sent it out, so we don't need an end of file check. So where is 1405? Found it. Once we find it, we seek -1. Okay, so we find 1405. I'll show this again. And we void to test in the files. If not, test if f is equal to x. True jump back to 3. We seek -1. So the testing moves us forward a slot. So we seek -1 because we just found what we're looking for, and we're going to void. Okay. Test end of file. There's a couple things here. These are in order based on time. So one of two things are going to happen. We're either going to hit the end of the file, which in this case we will, or we're going to hit the end of the time. So if we were looking at 905 and we delete these two, that's where this would come in. So if it's the end of the file, we go back up to 0. If it's not, we test right here. Do we still have more entries from this time? Had I just deleted physics and we were still looking for 905, our cursor would be 1955, and it would say this does not, and so we jump back up to 0 where we're looking for the next class. Because we don't need to keep looking through this, because there's not going to be any more of that time outside of that time that we just found. We're obviously, if we're looking for 1955, we're going to find the first one because it started at the beginning. And then once we're done through them, we're going to hit this, and it's going to be not equal to. And so we can go back to the beginning and look for the next class. We know that time has been completely wiped without having to go through the whole file. I think that makes sense. I'm going to go back here, and I'll click to this so that we can watch what these boxes do. So we found AP English, we seek -2, and we copy the time for ourselves, and then also for these times. So now they know AP English is 1405. We have this class in our T register. We're going to copy the time into our X register. We're going to switch to local, so we're copying to our replicant and not bothering this fellow. And then we're going to send him the time. Okay? Send him the time, and then also send him the class afterwards. But for right now, once this is the first thing he's gotten to do. He grabbed the file, he switched to local, and now he's just waiting to put the time into his X register. Once he's done that, now he's going to do just this little test. We know the time exists because he has a class in every time slot. So where is the time is all we're doing here. Where's the time? Where's the time? I know I've got it. I know I've got it. Found it. Now we're going to copy file to X because we don't want to lose this class. We want to hold on to that. So we're we're going to copy that to our X register because we don't need that time anymore. We know we're in the right spot. We can overwrite that with the new information we need. Seek -1, and then copy the class from the father just directly into the file. Bam. And then you're going to seek -999. So you're going to jump back to the beginning of your file and then copy the new class name back to father and then jump back up where you're waiting for the time to come in. And that's all he does. This replicant, that is his whole line. He comes into existence here, grabs the file that we're editing, switches to local mode, and then this is it. He copies the time into X, finds the time, copies the new class name into X, overwriting the time, goes back 1, copies the class name into the file, overwriting it, and then goes back to the beginning, copies the new class name back, and then back up to here again. That's all he does. I hope this is making sense. I don't know if I'm explaining that very well. He's doing very little, but it sounds so complicated the way I'm saying it. Because of this master schedule, there's only one instance of AP English. Whenever we delete all the 205 classes, anything else, any of these other classes that were in 205 are now deleted. So whatever was at 1405, which is US history in this case, this gets deleted, and now there's only one instance of US history. So that's how we know that these line up, and that's really what was hurting me in my earlier attempts. But yeah, so we have found the time that the class we need takes place, and so we just need to put it on his schedule. And so we find, okay, where on his schedule is that time? Here it is. Alright, this is what he had been doing. We're going to need that information. Let's hold it, and then let's overwrite that information with the new class that's taking place at this time, and then send that old class back. That's it. That's all you do. And as soon as he sends that back, he's going to jump back up to C, wait for the next time. XB is going to copy the new class into X, test if it's equal to English. We have this little seek -2 here. Test if that's equal to English. If it is, we're done. We're replacing English with AP English. So if we get to the point where we've overwritten English, then we know that we're done. Because whatever we replaced, whatever we had just replaced only had at most 2 instances. So let's say US history takes place in this block and this block. We don't want English line. We want that replaced. So we've overwritten US history here. If we find US history here, we know that that's the only other instance of US history. And so putting that here over English means that all of this other stuff is going to be correct. Because all that needs to happen is that he's not taking the same class twice, and that he is taking all of the classes that he wants to take. So as soon as we find English, we know that we're done. Because everything beyond that was correct. This schedule is correct, except that we want to replace AP English with AP English. So any changes we don't make But anyway, test if the new class, the class that we just replaced, is that English. If it is, we're going to jump down to kill mode. If it's not, then we're going to send the new class to our T registrar, switch to global, and then jump back here where we send the T to this guy. And that will just repeat the process. And we'll just keep going over that again and again until we do find English. So let me alt tab to here. This is what it looks like now. These are all the same stuff, except the US history is now here, pre-calc is now here. And it looks like all this other stuff is the same. So I don't know if I've done a good job explaining this or not, but I'm not going to try to explain it any further. I'm either not able to explain it or I'm over explaining it, and I don't really care for either. So I'm going to stop. Once we find English, we know that we're done, like I just tried to explain. So we're going to kill our replicant. We're going to wipe the file we're holding, which was the English thing. Jump back 2 spots, kill him, grab the file he was holding, and then wipe it, and then that will put us out of instructions and complete the test run. Like I've said repeatedly, I don't know if I'm explaining this well or not, but I got it done, and that is amazing. After 99 days of being unable to figure this out. Activity is what most people end up doing. Size is pretty high, actually. A lot of people are doing better than me on that one. And cycles as well. But I got there, and I am incredibly happy. So, is there one more puzzle? Is this it? I mean, it definitely looks like it. So, as always, thank you guys so very much for watching. And I will see you next time when we escape the computer simulation once and for all. I don't know what outro to do because I haven't recorded a video in 99 days.